on Pronoia Starseed podcast. So when I come back, the story alchemist himself, Knowledge Born Allah, will be in the building. Yeah. Peace and blessings, Cuzzo. And I'll figure out how to scroll again because something happened on my side and I couldn't scroll up. I would have played the video earlier, but I cannot figure it out. Something's going on. So I'm going to probably log out and come back. So I got it over here. I'll see you in a minute. Telepathy.
Everything's a vibe. Like, this is science. Everything's got its own frequency. We know that energy is neither created or destroyed, it's merely transferred or transformed. When we speak in energy. I don't even think people pay attention half the time in conversation when I say, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you.
You said I read your mind the other day, but baby, we are just connected deeply in another way. That telepathy connection, energy that's manifested through that melanin, electric currents traveling kinetic. What you thinking? Call my mama. But my mama calling me. Coincidence, no higher common sense, I call it ESP. We are magic while this world's unraveling. 5G cannot limit our abilities from traveling. See, I'm on another level, dirty digging. Homie, get the shovel. I'm a rebel in this motherfucker, dancing with these demons. Got them screaming. This world is planting fear inside us. Clearly, I'm just over all the brainwashing. Time to wash your brain of all the pain, of all the stress, all the lies you told yourself. Open your eyes and realize you're a diamond in the rock. Don't let them tell you what you're not. It's time to show the world all this magic that we got with telepathy.
So hear me clearly. For me, language is liberation. The words that we have, they define and describe the very things that free our mind, but only when we choose with intention and pay attention to the frequency of the words that we use to construct our realities. Who do you say that you are? I am. I am. Those two words alone are the very beginning to a powerful sequence of awakening yourself to who and all that you are, have been, and will be. We talk in frequency.
Clouded visions, poison minds, can't see clear enough. The world full of interference, so God ain't hearing us. My spouse miles away, can't even take a walk in public. Coronavirus got us locked away like lab subjects. Close your eyes and you can feel the pain, we all connected. Empath, so I sense when every soul's ejected. A mystic, magical, way beyond simplistic. 5G blocking my chi, keeping our signals twisted. Communicate with my mind, mental telepathy. Into nature, so we speak on different frequencies. My third I watch, the other two never truly see. The world is an illusion shrouded in secrecy. A king by birthright, a god at first sight. Divine shine bright, blind the wicked at first light. Open your heart chakra and let these words shock you. We telepathic, use your magic like a witch doctor.
Or ancient Egyptian words of power that speaks to the soul. I command your soul to listen. Nuktachaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. Nuktachaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. Nuktachaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. Chaz un mesura aritun ak im ta tema'u.
Hey, peace. Uh-oh. Oh, he did? Yeah, you are. Stop playing with me. I was like, wait a minute, is he stuck? You playing. Peace, knowledge.
Peace and blessings, God Israel. Peace and blessings, Starseed. I tried to get it. It's your brother, Knowledge Born Allah here, aka the Story Alchemist. I almost want to throw my name away and just be like, I am the Story Alchemist. The goddess has confirmed me. I am the Story Alchemist. Who are you? All right.
Not who are
Glad to
you?
be here. Who art thou? Start talking old English on them. You understand?
Oh
Who art
no. Well,
Glad to be
welcome,
here.
welcome to Pronoia. As this is your very first show, so you guys, this is Knowledge is okay. Knowledge has been here quite a few times. Okay,
Yeah.
he's been on. Yes, he's been here for quite a few shows, but this is his first time here as an official Starseed. So let's welcome Knowledge Born Allah as a Starseed. Hey. So this is his first show, and I'm gonna let him run the show for sure. But before we start the show, I decided to give each Starseed their own intro video. And this will be his first time seeing the full video. I put a promo up and I had little pieces and bits and snippets for tonight's intro video. But I decided that each Starseed, is deserving because they are their own universes. Like, when I come in the building, I come in with my own music, and I think everybody else should be able to come in with their own theme music as well. So I'm going to show you the video that I created for you, Knowledge. I have already rolled out Smart Video Girl. I was about to say King Adonis, but I didn't. I just been working on that one. Mr. Westbrooks. Yes. So next up is Knowledge Born Allah. So sit back and relax, Starseeds. Do not judge me. Only good criticism and feedback here on Pronoia, or you will get blocked and banned. Okay, I'm just playing. But I take pride because, I took my time on this. So this is for you, Knowledge. So I hope everything goes smooth. All right, here we go.
Running through the finish line, self-made, bossed up, baby, I'm divine and it's by design. I ain't even gotta flex, they know I'm a guy, feeling in my vibe. They salute me when I'm in the streets, in the waters, yeah, we dive deep. Riding the wave, I done found purpose, balancing the current, tell me, can you see? In this industry, that's full of sharks, coming for your heart every time you bleed. Only the real gon' remain solid, and staying tall, ain't no compromising. On this road, gotta move righteous, me and God always in alignment, yeah. Me and God always in alignment. Me and God always in alignment. Doing this for the free souls, the ones that's following their own road, the ones that always keep it real, even if that mean you gotta ride solo. The ones that do the inner work, healing through their trauma, look at how they soul glow. Looking right through the veil, third eye vision, I don't need a GoPro. My ancestors rocking with me. Keep the channel open, they the ones that told me I had to get out of Philly. When you spread your wings, doing better things, niggas find a problem with it. Crabs in a barrel, blocking all their blessings, baby, and I'm drowning in them, let's go. Running through the finish line, self-made, bossed up, baby, I'm divine, and it's by design. I ain't even gotta flex, they know I'm a guy, feeling in my vibe. They salute me when I'm in the streets, in the waters, yeah, we dive deep. Riding the wave, I done found purpose, balancing the current, tell me, can you see? In this industry, that's full of sharks, coming for your heart every time you bleed. Only the real gon' remain solid, and staying tall, ain't no compromising. On this road, gotta move righteous, me and God always in alignment, yeah. Me and God always in alignment. Me and God always in alignment. Me and God always in alignment.
We cut our mics back on. Here we go.
Guys, right, you see this book right here?
Yes. I can't read it though, because now I ain't got no glasses on.
Oh, it's all good. I just wanted you to see it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It said me and God always in alignment.
Yes.
Look, okay? First of all, can I slow clap? Can I slow clap? Can I slow clap?
Slow clap. Hey.
Slow clap, okay? I love every morsel of it, like every single solitary morsel of it. You understand what I'm saying? It was hype and it was methodical, but created with divine intention, like every aspect, like coming in to the place, like who in the building. You understand what I'm saying? The story alchemist. And I love that you had the future generations there waiting in the classroom. But I love that you had Tahuti on the side as the scribe, because I got a tendency to be cerebral, to be in my mind, and that mind of God, that mind of her that I'm gonna get into tonight is him. That mind of her is him. It's Tahuti, right? So when we operate out in the world, this the last day of Pisces going into Aries season, about to get hot. You understand what I'm saying? It's about to get hot. So that 5 horse year that they talk about, it starts now. Okay, starts right now. All right. So that essence of that mind is a womb. We come from the womb of the mind, and we come from the cosmic womb of the universe. So you put it all together, and you know, one video. So that ascension, and ain't a descension. I wasn't going down the stairs. I was going up the stairs, right? Into the space as a child, because the teacher and the student produce the teaching together. It ain't the teacher over the student. If there's no students, there's no teacher. If there's no teacher, there's no students. So there's a twin essence together, right? So I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Then signed the scroll, and then I walked out with the scroll. You understand what I'm saying? I walked out with the scroll like a sword, right? They say the pen is mightier than the sword, and if you put the S on the back of sword, you got words. You know what I'm saying? Like you remove the S from the beginning, so you have words. So your tongue is a sword, right? So we wielding the power of truth and crafting stories together from the womb of the mind to our reality. So thank you, Goddess Rael, for the hookup. I got the hookup. How they you hit me? I got the hookup.
Okay, I can't be singing. I don't know that song. That's not from my generation.
I ain't gonna tell nobody else. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I am going to be the student tonight, so I am going to take a step back. I'll be watching from behind, and you can tell me when I can come back on stage. But I'm going to listen tonight and take notes and let the great teacher teach. So you guys have a great night. I'll be back here watching and listening and giggling, because I know he's gonna make me laugh, and he's gonna teach me some things tonight, and he's probably gonna make me cry. So I'm excited, and I'm glad you enjoyed the video, and we'll play it again at the end of the show.
Quick. Can you see this?
Yeah. Oh, don't even go there. I love
it. I want you to see that real quick before you go.
Yes, absolutely. That. Yes, I see it.
See that? Okay, this is a real thing. Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got that from the man himself. You understand?
Oh, wow.
What I'm saying? So when we talking about, don't slay my dragon, we talking about the last dragon, invite a brother to the place, because that's my place.
Okay.
That's my place.
All right. I'll be backstage. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Well, y'all give it up for Goddess Rael. It's your brother Knowledge One Live, broadcasting live here on the place where the Starseeds gather. And I couldn't think of a better place in time to actually be involved with the Starseed Dream Team. And I'm going to tell y'all something. They did not make it easy, okay? They did not make it easy. After I saw Mr. Westbrooks, I was like, yo, fam, all right, I don't know if I want, what I'm saying? I might want to wait to season 7. You know what I'm saying? So I started to do my best. And then in addition, we got the story from Smart Video Girl. You understand what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, and then stacked the deck. I got motivated. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to get up in this ring. You understand what I'm saying? So honored to be here. And what I will be dealing with for the duration of season 6 is finding, mining, extrapolating, and distributing the power and the potency of story alchemy, right? So I asked her to, Goddess Rael, to play telepathy before we started, because telepathy is something that we operate in without operating in it, without knowing. Like we connect with people, we speak to each other without words. Words in some cultures stand as a devolution from what exists in the power of the mind. So we're going to deal with the power of the mind. We're going to deal with storytelling. But before we get all the way into that supreme high science, we're going to pay reverence and honor to the wombs that gave us birth. I was talking to one of my queen mothers early today, Queen Mother Ru, Mauliza Temple. Honest to her always and forever. I thank Almighty God and my ancestors for her and her guidance and for them putting me on the path to link up with her. And this is how I came here. I met Mr. Westbrook's Goddess Rael and so many divine others in that space. We was over at the spot. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't know where the spot is, I don't know what to tell you, fam. I do not know what to tell you. But that space brought us together and we were able to collaborate. And this is how we got here. So the cosmic mother, that Pronoia energy, that Pronoia force, that Pronoia power conspired in our favor as proof of us coming together in this particular space and time. Today is March 19th, and I asked for this day in particular because this is the day of knowledge born in supreme mathematics. So the number 19, the 1 and the 9, the knowledge in the born degree exist in the space stand alone. We don't have to add them together. We don't have to multiply them. That number 19 does something significant. That number 19 does something significant when you add them together, when you times them together, a result that is magnificent. You understand what I'm saying? So when we look at that number 19, when we look at the power to use the knowledge to make something born, in order to make something born between that knowledge and that born degree, that 1 and that 9, you need the number 8. And that number 8 in supreme mathematics is build or destroy. And that 8 also they say is the sign of infinity. When you deal with that sign of infinity, you're dealing with forever. So we use our knowledge to build or destroy and born something righteous into existence forever. We build on the positive and destroy the negative. But it is a balance. It is a dance that goes back and forth. And that goes back to our story. If y'all are listening, I want y'all to put one word that describes you in the chat. One word. One word that describes you in the chat. See my brother Stacks in the building. Salute to the God. One word that describes you in the chat. How will you describe yourself? If you could describe yourself to somebody, you only have one word. Give me one word that describes you. Okay. God, powerful. She definitely is powerful, isn't she? Okay. One more person. Give me somebody else. Give me. I know it's a little delay when it gets to y'all, so give me a little second. Give me one word that describes you. Unstoppable. Yeah, that's my brother. Definitely unstoppable. Okay. Differently able. That's what I'm talking about. You understand? Yes. Yes. One more. One more. Give me one more. Victorious. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So we're utilizing different aspects of speech to be an adjective to describe a noun. And in English, determined, definitely. A noun, as it was taught to us, is a person, a place, or a thing. Right? So a person, place, or a thing. And an adjective is something that describes a noun. So powerful for Goddess Rael. Goddess Rael wrote powerful. She is where power comes from. So she said powerful, meaning she's full of power, but she's full of power from divine and source where power comes from. So she not only is full of power, she's the essence from which power is derived. My brother Stacks, he picked unstoppable. He picked unstoppable. When you're dealing with an unstoppable force, nothing or no one could yield what is coming through. And if you ever spoke to my brother and we ever had an interface with him, he gives to you the feeling of being invincible. So not only does he has this essence within himself, he freely gives it to everybody whom he encounters. They go from feeling like something can stop them to nothing or no one can stop them after the discussion. I promise he gives that to you wherever you see him, whether he knows you or not. He walks with that unstoppable force and being within him, and he freely gives it without him. My brother New York, differently able. This is one of the brothers I know who adapted his entire life and changed and transformed his entire life. So when you're around him and you interface with my brother, you're not going to leave the same way that you came. You come into the situation one way, and I promise you, after the interaction, when you leave, you're going to be a different person. So I use differently able. You become differently able. So the words that they use to ascribe to themselves is something that can be readily observed in the interactions with who they are and what they give to the world. All right. So I seen one more. Mr. Westbrook, victorious. Okay. So he is one who transforms you with the power of you. He transforms you with the power of you. So victorious, that means that you had to been in a position where you did not think that you were going to come out of this successful. So within you, he imbues you with the power and the permission and the creative license to be able to become victorious over anything or anyone that might seek to subject you or oppress you. So when you hear him speak, he's an educator. He educates young people and he peers right through to the divine potential and essence that the creator creators has in store for them, whether they know it or not. And by the time he is finished imparting these things upon these young people, they are victorious. They go from victims to victorious. So he is one who prepares you for victory based off of your numerology, what divine has within the skies within you. All right, so I sing one more, determined. And if y'all don't know Jody, the trials and the tribulations that she has overcome in her life, the trials and the tribulations that she's helped others to overcome in their life, that when they sit down with her, they come to her in a space of uncertainty. They come to her in a space of fear. They come to her and in a space where which they don't know how they're gonna make it through whatever situation and circumstance. And the creators has imbued her with the power of sight beyond sight, the visionary mind and the warm spirit to guide you out of the treacherous and tumultuous into the space of being determined. She is one who has the power to help you properly determine the future if you heed what she shares. So that's a few people who gave those words, right? They gave those words. And I want us to, even if you didn't write it, say it in the chat, write it down somewhere. Write it down somewhere and give yourself 7 words. 7 words to describe yourself. Don't even give them a definition. Give them the first 7 words that come to your heart, that you hear in your inner voice, in that God manner to describe you. And we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that as we get further into this class, right? So I want you to see the power of words, right? Because I was just talking about the words and sword and the truth. So we're dealing with that precursorily, and now we're going to deal with the essence of why, right? Why? You are so much more than you ascribe to yourself, especially our people. We survived a traumatic experiences here in the hells of North America, whether we're indigenous to this landmass or not. The tumultuous situation in regards to identity, we have now relegated ourselves to menial tasks or what we think we know about self based off of what someone else has told us. So if you are in a profession for such a long time, when it's time for you to leave that particular profession, or you thought a certain kind of way all your life, or you aligned yourself with a certain set of presets that were put upon you when you got here, you operate in them. They might be like, yo, I'm a Gemini. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just how I am, son. You understand? Like, you know what I mean? That's it. That's me. You know what I mean? Like, my love language is physical touch. So you gotta excuse me. I'll be a little touchy feely sometime. All of these presets, right? All of these presets, they can become something that precludes you from getting into the inner aspects of you. You are only as good, I'll say this, you are only as good as the story you share after the story that you believe. You're only as good as the story you share after the story you believe. So if someone told you you're lazy and you believed it, you will operate in that space until a set of circumstances or you come into a new information that they would call in psychology a schema. Your schema is updated, right? Your schema becomes something that you operate in from a mental perspective. Shout out to Smart Video Girl. We're going to do something collaborative together, and we're going to explore these things. We're going to explore that mind, right? So I'm just laying the groundwork for that. We're going to go and deal with that in depth collaboratively because it's time to change your story. If you no longer believe that story that was laid upon you was true, and it's time for us to renegotiate to our greatest and highest good, we have to be taught a new story. But you have to be guided in a way back to self in regards to understanding why you are where you are and why you are the way you are based upon that story. So, in essence, our story, we here on Pronoia Starseed Podcast Season 6. Our story begins with us written in the star constellation. The sum total of a place within the infinite universe. That essence of divine potential. The waters of noon, that they would call it in Nile Valley culture. So in that water of noon, similar to the water that exists in the most habitable planet in the universe, the earth is covered in water approximately 3/4 of its surface, approximately, not in actuality, approximately. It fluctuates between 3/4 and 2/3. So In essence, our story begins from the womb of the universe by permission of the cosmic mother to the womb of the mind that encapsulates where the physical essence that comes from man that is imbued with that spark of divine intelligence to the womb of mother. To the womb of mother. So we come from the womb of mother to the womb of mother. So in essence, when we say as above, so below, this is what we're saying. We come from the collective womb of mother to the womb of mother. Now, some places might call that ancestral realm the realm of Egun, where our ancestors dwell. And if y'all want to know more about that, y'all get with my brother Oba Adedayo, one of the foremost scholars in the realm of spiritualism and our traditions as far as the African traditional system, one of our foremost, who gives it to you plain. All right. So y'all get with him, y'all get his book, A Glass of Water and a Candle. And he has several other books. So shout out to my brother, Oba Adedayo. So one who's dealing in that realm of Nile Valley is called the Amduat. So that realm of the Amduat. So the reason why I'm referencing these places because all of these give space, credence, and honor to our story. So in the physical world, our story begins with birth. And that birth story becomes a sum total of experience of cultivation or what they deem in medical terms gestation in the womb, unseen. So, in that process of developing in her womb, mother gives you sustenance and everything that she is exposed to, one way or the other, through this process of gestation while you are a seed in her womb. Through her mitochondria, you get access to interface with everything that ever is, was, and will be. Through what she ingests into her mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical structure, you are incubated and inundated with that from a subatomic level to the highest realms of your physical structure. So every single part of your being is affected by what is happening during this gestation process. And this triune stage of growth and development in the womb has indicators of success that people are able to marker or monitor these stages of development. So your story within the story within the story already starts from the cosmos. Who are you in the cosmos? Who are you in the mind? And then who are you in the body? That's a triune space that we have access to, that we no longer look to anymore. We only delve in the finer points of the finite aspects of our being in the physical world. This is why in the Bible, the made man and woman, the science experiment is given laws relative to life. The first commandment that was given to the made man or mankind is to be. Is to be. Be. To exist. And if you're dealing with a made man, one who is not truly imbued with the power of source, it becomes a Pinocchio Geppetto situation. So the inanimate object is given life by whom? In the Pinocchio story. The fairy godmother. So what were you before this godmother gave you life? You were inanimate. You had the potential to become something, but you were already made something. You were carved and shaped. But then there's an essence of life that's supposed to enter you and make you animate. Do we give credence and power to that source anymore? We don't. We no longer honor our mother, and we no longer honor the womb. So that womb, that was your first home. That womb, that was your second home, and that womb, that is your third home, are all three places where the cultivation and activation and growth and development take place. And these are the places that we know the least about instead of what we know the most about. And we wonder why we wander around aimlessly looking for validation outside of self. When we wonder why we're at a tumultuous situation where we have a tug of war back and forth in regards to the umbilical cord essence that gave us life. And the made man and woman are running around saying that mother, they don't know what it means to be woman. They're asking the question, what does it mean to be woman? And they call mother birthing person. And somehow the world isn't on fire. All life has mother. All life has mother. So this process of self-discovery begins with the story that you were told and the one that you believed for you. But it has its roots in a far-reaching space long before our cognitive actualization of who we are. So when we relegate ourselves to menial tasks or lowly aspects, when we charge them with the divine essence of our vocalization and thought and action, that I am comes into fruition by our permission, whether we are coerced or not. So honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days might be longer on the earth. This was a commandment that was given to the made men. I promise we picked the worst of the worst to become in some of these instances. And somehow, even in that space, we might find the best parts of the worst part. So when dealing with who we are, our story begins in that cosmic womb. So much so that the universe is conspiring on your behalf? Who are you that the universe is conspiring on your behalf? That's the mission of the starseeds here. Every one of them has a story, and it's a story that is a microcosm of the macrocosm of what and how the universe is conspiring in your favor. Mr. Westbrook's give it to you from the vantage point of supreme numerics. Sister Smart Video Girl gives it to you from the vantage point of understanding self. The work begins with you. And I'm here today to give it to you from the vantage point of what story had you been told that you believed that you now embody and you begin to live out. In the Islamic tradition, in order for you to join the Islamic world, there is a statement. And that statement is called the Shahada. And the Shahada is a declaration of the tongue, as it's explained. It's a statement of the tongue, a belief in the heart, and then something followed up by your bodily actions. So I use the Shahada as an example. It's a statement of the tongue, right? A belief in the heart, followed up by bodily action. So they work from the outside into the inside, back to the outside. So the statement of the tongue, you bear witness, right? This is how you become one in the Islamic world, a statement of the tongue. So someone gives you a statement and you repeat it. And through that process, it's a belief in the heart. So that statement of the tongue, that belief in the heart. Now, after that is, you immediately begin to learn how to do something. You begin to learn how to take instruction from someone in a society you don't know. What does that remind you of? You learn how to talk from mother. You learn how to eat from mother. You learn how to walk from mother. You learn those things, right? So the statement of the tongue, you begin to correspond in a space based off of what you heard in the womb. When I was young, I learned Arabic not from somebody who knew Arabic. My family, they spoke Arabic. So I came from the womb speaking Arabic. I had to learn English. So you see some of these young babies and they learning their what they would call their mother tongue. Where did they learn that from? So that essence that was already written, a story was already written, a divine ordination was already there. And in that essence, you learn that language that's most prominently spoken, and then whatever the after effects to interface with the world. So I had to learn English in that way. So a statement of the tongue, belief in the heart. You have to embody it and make it real. So with that declaration, you could have just said it to say it. But through this process, it becomes real. It becomes real by this level of connection or faith that you have in your heart that they call Iman. And then what you do with your bodily actions. So there's something that you do that you learn how to do, and then there are things that you learn in this particular path that you no longer do. Restrictive laws. So that guidance goes from a thing that was foreign to you that you now come back in tune with again. And in that tradition, it says, do not cut off relations with the wombs that bore you. do not cut off relations with the wounds that bore you. So they might say it to say, okay, we're talking about institutions, someplace where you learned something, right? So you would hear the Islamic world say that, and their prophet, Yah Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, would tell them that paradise is at the feet of their mothers, and you would see the grave disconnect and dishonor that is given and paid unto the womb. One of the most egregious spaces in regards to that display of non-womb reverence in many of the cases. So where is the disconnect by which we're looking at something that's supposed to be this example of extreme womb reverence and paradise is at the feet of our mothers? Where is the Islamic world in this plight against the dishonor and the disrespect of mother? If these people are running around reading this Bible, and in this Bible it says, honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days shall be longer on the earth. Where is the biblical world in this dishonor of mother? Why is it in an uproar? Why are the regular people who don't even fall into the categories in regards to what this is, they love their mother? Where is the world uproar in regards to mother? In regards to what is happening on the planet, with the situations with the earth? Where's the outcry for the reverential awe to the womb of the universe? So that means that we all have gotten to the space as a collective with our stories, where our stories have gaps and holes, and we no longer seem duty bound or feel connected to womb reference, because that's our first story. Before you become anything and everything, your anything and everything existed in that womb space. So if we have not been told our birth story, we are already in existence without vital information that became of vital importance to us. Our mother and our father contribute to 2/3 of our genetic makeup. 1/3 from our mother, 1/3 from our father, and 1/3 that is our own. To be precise, 33 1/3 from your mother, 33 1/3 from your father, and 33 1/3 of your own. So within you, therein contained is access to your entire lineage in totality, and then aspects of the divine self based upon your mission here on the planet. So your mother and father's mother and father and beyond, and your father's mother and father and beyond. I was talking to my nephew one day. My sister called me and was like, "Hey, your nephew, he's messing up in school, and I can hear him in the background rumbling a little bit." She's like, "Yep, I told you I was going to tell your uncle." And I'm one of those uncles that provides discipline. So when he got on the phone, he thought that I was going to approach him in a way that was visceral, because all you have in your absence is whatever stories are being told about you. So my nephew got on the phone. I was like, "Nephew, what's going on?" He like, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. I said, what's going on with you in school? He's like, you know. I said, okay, let's start here. I said, what's the first thing you put on the paper when you begin your assignment? If somebody's still listening, what's the first thing you put on the paper when you begin your assignment? Somebody write it in the chat. Okay, your name. Your name is the most important thing that you put on that paper. Your name is the most important thing that you put on that paper. Now you begin to participate in society. You begin to participate in society as an ambassador for your bloodlines, the subtotal or the sum total of your bloodline. They may not know your father, they may not know your mother, but they know your father and your mother based upon your name. Look at New York. He said name and date. Okay, he did another thing. All right. So your name, right? And the date. So the date determines from a psychological perspective if your mental cognition is intact. You are aware of what the date is. What time are you in? So if you are one who suffers from mental defect in the realm of memory, you'll put any date on that paper. So the name and the date become critical. But the name, I said your name is one that your mother and father came together to give you that first name. Some people might call that your Christian name, quote unquote. So that name was given to you. So the name that they gave to my nephew, right? And then I said your last name represents your family name. Your family name. I said, so you put your first and your last name on that paper, and that gives an indicator to whoever's looking at it, who you are and where you come from. So that means that you are representing your family in totality to someone who is unknown to your family. When you go to Disney, that is Disney's bloodline. That is the Disney family bloodline that you're interfacing with. So if Disney is great and you say Disney is great, or I love to go to Disneyland or to Disney World, the Disney family is referenced. Every time you mention that name Disney with reverential awe, they receive a plus up in spirit and in truth. So economically tied, financially tied, emotionally tied, mentally tied, and spiritually tied. And this is why they work with your imagination in that regard. So talking to my nephew, when we got to this point where he's understanding that he's affixing his name and his family name to this paper, now we deal with your level of competency. Are you presenting your best work based off of this name? So you got your name and the date, and now your work. Your work is submitted for review. Your work is submitted for inspection. Your work is submitted for scrutiny. They may never meet anybody else in your family, but they know you, and they're going to judge you and your family based off of your work. That's what I told him. And I believe he was getting seized at the time. And I said to him, if this is the best that you can do, then this is the best that you can do. If it's not your best work, why would you want to submit your best work with your name and your family name attached to it? Is that how you want them to see you and your family? He said no. And that no set off a shock within him. It set off a shock within him for him to remember that every time he introduces himself, every time he shakes a hand, anytime he's out and about, and more importantly, anytime he affixes his name on a document, who he's representing. And he wants to make sure that each one of those interactions that I named becomes something where he's giving honor and credence to the family from which he came. First lesson. If you know your birth story, if you understand the conditions of your birth, if your family discusses your birth story, your unique birth story, the day, the time, everything leading up, all of these aspects in regards to that. If your children know, if you know, and if you share with your children that story, they begin to understand their uniqueness. My mother gave me that story. My mother gave me that birth story. My mother gave me the story when she saw me in her dreams as a young child, and the discussion that we had in regards to us choosing each other to be mother and son to one another. She told me that story. And then began to give me the name story and how that name connected me to her and to my father. And then when she changed the name, the connection to my bloodline. So how many of us are walking around with this information and understand the power of that story? This story of your birth and the story of your name. Who are you walking around representing or misrepresenting? Think about that in regards to us crafting this story. Because when we're working in this masterclass series of crafting the story to be able to tell your story, one of those critical tools in storytelling is character development. Whether you're dealing with a character that is fictitious or actual. When you're telling a story, you want the people in the story to be involved in the story. You want the reader, you want the listener, you want the observer to be involved. You want them to feel as though or think as though they are there with you. So when I'm talking to my nephew, this is what I'm imparting. I'm not physically in front of him. We're on the phone, but I want to be able to paint a picture in his mind about who and what he is representing when he affixes his name on a piece of paper or when he walks out into the public. So that goal, that's not something that you can get from the school. The school is not going to tell you who you are. They're going to observe who you are and grade your work in that regard. So if he's submitting his best work, he knows who he is there for. He is not there for that institution. He is there to get what is necessary in this regard to be able to bring back to his family, to better his family, and to better his community. It's double tied. So that training that he's receiving, because education is at home. So if you are educated or miseducated, it began at home. And then you were trained in a certain kind of way that was ascribed to you by these stories that are conflicting. So after character development, one of the key things in the story is conflict. So he was conflicted in regards to what he was receiving in regards to training in this environment. And in the result, what he could actually do versus what he was doing was in conflict with one another. So that conflict was him against himself, but also him against the environment. He existed in an environment that was not nourishing enough for him, where a challenge was issued for him to bring out the best parts of himself. They lie dormant. And a C was okay for him because he didn't know who he was to that degree. And after our interface, after our discussion, that space of transformation took place, and those C's went from C's to A's, and he was excited to have me on the phone to report. Uncle, tell Uncle I got A's now. Those C's and those C pluses and D's, and they went from those levels to A's from a discussion. From a discussion that was purposeful and intent to see what the schema was that currently existed and see if there was a manner in which to update the story. And one would look at the grade change as success. I looked at the life change as a success, and the grade thing would be evidence of success. Him learning who he was and who he represented was more important than any letter grade somebody else could give him. What grade did he give himself in that regard? He was excited about this aspect of learning again because he was learning himself. He was involved in the process. So it doesn't matter what your age is in that regard. You can still learn yourself and aspects of yourself. And this is one of the most optimal places on the planet to learn to do. Here you can learn your human design. If you ain't know what in the world human design was, Sister Claudia, she got it for you. If you want to know how you are composed mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and to whatever degree, if you want someone to speak a word of divine intelligence over your being, my brother, King Adonis, he got it for you. He got it for you. He got it for you in spirit and in truth. So when you say, story alchemy, he is the alchemist. He is the alchemist. He draws from all of these spaces of source and power to be able to give you a new look into self directly from source. So you come over to the Rose Corner, he got something for you. You understand? And Mr. Thistles and the thorns that come along with the rose as a protector, the fragrance and the beauty that exists comes out of that environment like a rose that grew from the concrete. So we're going to be getting into stories, examining stories. We're going to be challenging delusions. We're going to deal with negative self-talk. We're going to deal with procrastination. We're going to deal with all of these other aspects, but we're going to frame it in reference to the story. I promise, if you have the fortitude, the stamina, and the endurance to be able to look at self critically from all of these aspects, by the end of season 6, you'll be able to tell your story, write your story, craft your story, present your story in whatever mediums that are most comfortable to you. And you will no longer have an aversion to it, a fear of it. You will share it with the world because you are here because the world is in need of your story. And we know we'll be intimate. We'll be able to share these aspects with one another. We'll learn from one another. I learn from every single star seed on the dream team that is here, that has presented aspects of themselves thus far in close proximity and from afar. So from this last 5 seasons going into 6 seasons over here with Pronoia Starseed podcast, I've learned a great deal from these great ones who divine has chosen to be representatives in the Starseed capacity as a collaborative effort and as an individual divine force. God Israel say, everybody is their own universe. So when you and I verse, we get the best part. So I encourage everyone to seek out your birth story, seek out your name story, who you're named after. If you're named after somebody in your lineage or you're named after somebody in the world, we can connect all of the stories together. And through these efforts of us coming together, we'll be able to craft a story that you can share with the world that is going to be fulfilling, that is going to be beautiful, and that is going to be something that will outlast us in the physical world. The last thing I'll say is if you're on this journey here on the Pronoia Starseed podcast, my references that we'll be looking to go through and grow through for this season will be 2 of my volumes, and I'll show them really briefly. And if you want to get these volumes to be able to look and to study, please get with me or get with God Israel. And we got a special Starseed promotional package for you to do so. So let me get these books real quick. Go. The first one is from Nameless to Knowledge. Let me pull it up real quick. God's right. I'm about to share screen real quick. If you just give me the ability. All right. So this is from Nameless to Knowledge. This is the aspects of my own personal memoir with the goal and the expressed intent for our family to begin to document their own stories and journeys throughout life. You have a unique story that's unto yourself, and then you're a part of a collective ancestry that exists on the planet where anybody, anywhere that relates to your story sees your story within themselves. So there was a period of time within myself, it was a 7-year period at that, where I did not want to be identified as anything. I was simply nameless. So it went from nameless to knowledge. So from knowing to wanting to not know to knowing. Okay. So this was a process discovering to rediscovering. And there's a period in which there was a conflict internally within myself where I no longer wanted to be identified. I wanted to be unidentifiable, as if I could just not answer to what someone called me and that would be okay, as if I still wasn't who I was. You understand? So from nameless to knowledge, it's 100 reflections of my journey in that regard, and life lessons, life lessons of purpose and power. So I'll be dealing with some reflections in there in regards to storytelling. And volume 9, the most recent volume that I created. Share this tab real quick. Mastering the craft of telling your own Black story. So, Voices of the Diaspora, Volume 9. Mastering the craft of telling your own Black story. So, both of these volumes are going to be available for the Starseeds who exclusively want to take their story to the next level. So whether you want to start a podcast, you're dealing in the realm of the arts, you're dealing in the realm of the sciences, whatever message you want to craft to be able to deliver to the world, whatever that deliverable is, I'm going to take that feedback and craft this master course for you. So, these books are, vital in that regard. So that way, if going over this particular page or whatever it is, if you have questions or you have commentary you want to bring forth in regards to that, you need some clarity or whatever the case may be, it'll be uh, from these two books. And if you get with the Goddess Rael, we got a special price for you to be able to get these two volumes. And also, if you want to get the other volumes, there are 13 of them in total. 13 of them in total. We have a special price for you as well. So you got this Pronoia privilege. You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all wanted Starseed. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to delve into it. We're going to get into some stories, but we're going to get back into the stories from the vantage point of womb reference and reverence into actualization in regards to what it is in the mind, what it is in the body, and how we can use storytelling to shape and mold and transform our reality. So thank you, Goddess Rael, for granting me the opportunity to be a part of such a dynamic dream team. The Star Seeds are phenomenal. Everybody brings a unique and impactful story that is necessary for the proper development and evolution and elevation of our consciousness to our greatest and highest self. So, thank you guys for that.
All right. Thank you, Knowledge. Wonderful show. I was very informed. How you feeling? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You already know I could go another 2 hours, but I'm like, I ain't trying to get hit in the forehead. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, I know you know how we do, and you'll be
Yeah.
back in April, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You gonna have to let me know if y'all gonna have two shows with a collaboration, or it's gonna be one show with the collaboration. Just let me know later. You ain't gotta let me know right
Okay.
now because I know y'all got to coordinate behind the scenes. But I'm looking forward to this story because I'm looking forward to telling my story in many different forms. So I
Right.
am definitely a student. I'm being a student right now.
You definitely have a dynamic story, and your story is like many of those God beings who channel and are obedient to source. So when you are obedient to source, you are obscured from the world. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're obedient to source, you're obscured for the world from the world for a particular reason. There's a divine layer of protection that comes along. So when the people see you, they might miss you. They can see you and miss you because you're cloaked from their material view. So the closer they get to you, the more cloaked you become for them, versus those whom you have bestowed the favor of your presence on. It doesn't matter if they're near or far. they're the closest to you. So understand that divine has that essence. Everything comes with a cost, right? I was listening to a brother and sister, their show. They do like little skits, and it's supposed to be funny, but it was real, right? The brother asked his wife. He said, why do women ask for the truth and then they get mad about it? And she looked at that man that she loved, and she reminded him that truth has consequences. She ain't break her stride. She ain't da da da. She just boom. Truth has consequences. So if you are a proponent of one who is supposed to be kin and aligned with the truth, then you know that it comes with the consequences, that you are prepared to deal with the consequences of truth. Otherwise, you're on the side of a lie.
Yes,
You understand what
indeed.
I'm saying?
I
So
share.
that truth, when they say the truth hurts, then that means that's a consequence. So how long are you going to allow the truth to hurt you? What is it hurting? Is it hurting the lie in you? So, when you present yourself in the way that source allows you to be illuminated, it's attractive. It attracts all types. But the spirit of discernment
Lie. Jesus.
destroys those who may seek to try to do you harm. So either they're destroyed or they simply remove themselves. They can
Mhm.
seek to try to cloak themselves, but the truth will always reveal. Okay?
Mhm. So
Truth
true.
and something. So, you know, the ones that are closest to you, distance does not matter, time and space does not matter. And the ones who appear to be closest to you are the furthest from you, right? So Christ said, "Depart from me, for I never knew you." Never, never
I
knew
just,
you.
oh
You
my goodness, I
understand?
was just talking to Smart Video Girl, and we said boundaries are biblical. Christ even had boundaries, and
Right.
look, you're not gonna be in my space and disrupting my peace. That's just not gonna happen. And like you said, there's a lot of people who can get real close to you, but they can't see you because they're too close. And it's like an abstract picture. If you get too
Mm-hmm.
close, you just see one color, you just see one thing, and you just fast it. Oh, you just know this. I just know because I'm right here on it. It can't be nothing
Right.
but turquoise. It's just turquoise.
Right.
And
Right.
then it separates and you step
You
back.
gotta focus.
And it's a
Yeah.
beautiful mural of many colors, but you couldn't even see it
Right.
because you was too close. You was too busy trying to define it instead of enjoy it. And so there were so many people. Yes, I love to tell my story. I can't wait to learn more so I can tell my story in a way that it is impactful and it can, touch others so they don't have to go through what I had to go through in order to identify and learn the discernment of not everybody can can feel your energy and not want to take advantage of it. Sometimes, if
Mm-hmm.
you're giving, some people come with a damn Capri Sun straw. They will poke that shit in there and suck it dry. I'm telling you, just suck it until it's all inflated inside, and they don't give a shit. And there's people out here that see the beauty in you, and they truly appreciate it to the point that they would never want to do that because they know that like some flowers are not meant to be picked. So thank you for get like giving
Well, you
us.
learned the story tonight, right? Didn't you? You said powerful. Now
Yes.
you can replace powerful of the essence of where power comes from. So they could poke their little straw in there and try to suck out that Capri Sun, but that Capri Sun has an expiration date on it. So they poke it and they drink their portion. That's their portion. They can't get no more out of it. They can suck and squeeze until their head pop off. You understand what I'm saying? But they're not going to get any more than what they were supposed to get, and that's it. And
That's
they got to
right.
go look for somewhere else to put that damn straw. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So for the portion that you gave, it might have been uh, hurtful because you're empathic and you're psychic. So you have that connection to all of these souls, right? You heard Big Yo say empathic. So I'm impacted when every soul is ejected. So when every soul leaves the physical realm, he feels it, right?
Mhm.
So you feel it on a deeper level via your mitochondrial DNA, right? So everything that ever existed does exist and will exist. You're all interconnected with you. You understand? So that thing might, you know, appear to harm you or shake you up on one level, but it's a blessing. It's a
Oh,
reminder
absolutely.
of who you are, right? It's a reminder of who you are, right?
Yes,
And who you're not,
absolutely.
because they got you effed up. You understand what I'm saying? So they got that little bit, right? They got that little bit, and that was it. They thought they got a lot. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, you
because
get this
my
little,
my 10 is 100 to them. You feel me? Like that energy is, yeah. Go ahead, take a sip because you can't take
yeah,
more
your
than
one is a
you can't
million.
take more than a sip.
Your one is a million. Your one is a
Exactly.
million, right? So that one in a million, you that what your
No,
love
I feel
is
you.
one in a million. Okay,
And I
so
want
it's
people
like
to understand, like, that's
yeah,
how you supposed to stand on business about your energy, though. Don't ever lower yourself to believe that like you're not powerful. You are. Like I had to learn that I was powerful because resides in me. Source chose me to reside in. That makes me powerful. And I'm here in order to encourage others to tap into their own power. That makes me powerful because I'm not jealous of other people's power. No, I encourage others to tap into their own power so they can be powerful as well. And you can only do that if you acknowledge your own power, right? Yes, absolutely. March 31st, Don't Slay My Dragon, part 3. Who's the dragon? Who's the master? I
yes,
am.
yeah, okay.
I
That's
am.
exactly what he wrote on here.
That's right. I
That's
am.
exactly what he wrote on here. Who's the master? He said, "Knowledge. Who's the master? I am." Look at that. Okay.
Yes. That's where power comes from, comes within. So I thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here as a star seed. I look forward to this journey with you and the other star seeds as well. I'm glad you enjoyed the intro. We're going to go out with the intro video tonight. You guys know that this is Pronoia Starseed Podcast. Pronoia means that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. You want to know how I know? Well, you can ask me about it on another show. But I know that the universe is always working for you because you are the universe in human form. So enjoy yourselves. Know that life is going to work out for you. And I hope you enjoyed the intro video and the other music that we play for the rest of the evening. Peace, star seeds. Oh, wait, I got to do it smoothly. Hold on. I'm not ready. Hold on. I'm just like, peace, star seeds. Ain't got nothing.